Okay, hello. I'm going to give you another video to watch about the grid method and the front end method. I want to make sure that we get a good look at a couple of examples. I'm going to do two examples for you. I'm going to do a triple digit by a single digit and a double digit by a double digit, and I'm going to show both the grid method and the front end method at the same time so you can understand how they relate to each other. Okay? Alright, first one is going to be 234 times 5. Okay? Grid method first. Remember, with our grid method we break up the numbers into our place values. So we're going to have over here 234 times by 5. Drawing our lines, hopefully really neatly in your book with your grid lines. Okay, and then we just times them out. So 200 times 5 equals 1,000. If that's a bit tricky, remember 2 times 5 equals 10, and add those two zeros. 30 times 5, 3 times 5 equals 15, and bring that zero down. That comes with it. 4 times 5 equals 20, and then we just add them up. Now I can see that one's quite easy, so it's 1,150 plus 20 equals 70. 1,170. Do our little finish off. Therefore, 234 times 5 equals 1,170. Remember, I like the final answer there because it's good practice to get into, and it's also going to be needed when you're doing more problem-solving maths. Sometimes it's all about what words you can read and get them into numbers and put them across and come up with a nice solution at the end. Okay, I'm going to do a front-end method now to show how it looks similar. Front-end method. So, now remember, the front-end method, we're starting at the front end. We're starting with the higher numbers. So, I'm going to write here 200 times 5. Just like over here, 200 times 5. I know it equals 1,000. And we're going to just make sure we keep our place value columns in a line. Okay? 30 times 5 equals 150. 4 times 5. 20. Just add them up. 0, 70, 1, 1. Same answer. 234 times 5 equals 1,170. Have a look. Can you see how they relate together? The 200 times the 5 is the 1,000. Same as 200 times 5 equals 1,000. 30 times 5 gives us the 150. 30 times 5 gives us the 150. And the 4 by 5, 20. 4 by 5, 20. Okay? Things to take note of are keeping everything in those place value columns. See how over here I've even kept my place values together. I've got my 1s, my 10s and my 100s. That's why in maths we have a grid book, so you can keep everything nice and aligned with the place values. It becomes really important. It's a good habit to get into. Good, neat work. Other tips to remember? If you've got a trickier number, this isn't too tricky I know, but 30 times 5 is the same as 3 times 5, and keep the 0 from the 30 and take it with you. We could probably count by 30s if we want. We could go 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. So we know it works, we know it's true. Okay? Alright, I'm going to do a double digit by double digit now, okay? Just to show how you could do those ones. So, next one we're going to do double digit by double digit, okay? 45 times by 32. I'll do the grid method first. We'll break it up into our place values. So, 40, 5 times by 32. Now, I just want to point out that some people have been going in different directions. I don't really mind which number's up here and which number's on the side, but it's important that we go tens then ones, or hundreds, tens, ones, and hundreds, tens, ones going down the page and going across to the right. That's just the convention we're using. Okay? Alright, draw in our lines. Okay. Now I've only used these four numbers because they're easy times tables for us to do. Okay. 30 times 40. I know that 3 times 4 equals 12. Pop those two zeros on. It gives us 1200. 5 times 30, we know that's 150 from our last sum. $40 times 2 is 80, because I know something times by 2 is a double. If you don't remember that, 2 times 4 equals 8, and then bring the 0 down. Put the 0 with it. 2 times 5 equals 10. Okay. Now these numbers look tricky for me, so I'm going to actually do them as a addition sum. Zero, 8, 9, 14, carry the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a good example of why we do our final therefore, because that's quite busy and it doesn't really show the answer like we want it. So 45 times 32 equals 1440. Okay? So get a good look at this and see how the numbers go together. I'm going to do the same thing over here for the front end method. And I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 times tables that we bring together. Now remember we call it the front end method, so we're always going to come from the front at the top and down here. So my first sum is going to be my 40 times 30, which equals my, hang on, 0, 10s, hundreds, thousands, so 1,200. Come on, straighter, Brett, straighter. That's better. Okay. Now I'm going to go my 40 at the top still. Two equals 80. Same as over here. Now I'm going to go to my 5s. So I've done all my 40s times the 30 and times the 2. Now I'm going to do the 5 times the 30 and 5 times the 2. 5 times 30 is 150. 5 times my 2 equals 10. Now, over here I had to redraw the sum, but with the front end method it's already there ready for us to go. Final answer, therefore, 45 times 32 equals 1,440. And they match up, isn't that good? Okay. So that's a couple of good looks at how the grid method and the front end method work. have a try at doing these yourself if you want, or just watch the video over and over again till it sinks in. Okay.